All right, let's get this started. Make some noise if you're having a good day today. Yeah. I'm having an awesome day today. I'm having a fan-fucking-tastic day today because today I learned my childhood bully died. So I'm having a kick-ass day. This dude was a fucking asshole. This dude used to call me the F slur for gay people, and he used to shove me into lockers, and he used to hit me. And today that would definitely make me, come. Like a lot. But back then it was bad news. So one day I snapped. I'd had it. And I decided I was going to confront him. So I called his house phone, because I'm a pussy. And his mom answered. And it caught me off guard. I was really surprised, and I don't know what to do. She answered the phone, and she was like, hello? And I was like, your son's gay. And then I hung up. And I didn't know this at the time, but his parents were crazy evangelical Christians. And when I got to school the next day, I learned that they'd shipped him off to conversion therapy camp. And I never saw him again until today on Facebook when I learned he was murdered by his husband. That story had twists! And it has two morals. Moral number one, conversion therapy, it doesn't work. It might actually make you fucking gay. Not you. You'll never be gay, sir. Good for your son. I'll meet him after the show. And moral number two, gay people, we come in all different shapes and sizes. But at our core, we all know how to make a scene. A crime scene. That's what that is. But speaking of which, happy Pride Month. Yeah. Pride Month, little long. Can't believe we're still in Pride Month at all. I have one pair of rainbow socks. I already wore them. It's been over. At this point, it's so long, I don't think gay people need it. At this point, I'm ready to give black folks February and June. Just take it. Just give us, 1 day. Just give us, Flag Day. It's already, one letter off, you know? My parents were trying to be supportive, so they bought a rainbow flag to put up at their house. So I went over to go check it out, and I got there, and I saw it, and I was like, Mom, that's the flag for the country of Rwanda. It's not even kind of close. And my mom was like, oh, I think we'll keep it. Rwanda sounds like a name for a nice drag queen. And I wanted to be annoyed, but, I kind of agree with her, you know, welcome to the stage, Rwanda genocide. That would be something. In New Orleans, we just had our Pride Parade, but I didn't go. While other gay guys were out there shoving entire Pride floats up their assholes, I was at home, under the covers, with my iPhone light and my vape smoke, just creating my own little gay bar circuit party of one, you know? What I'm trying to say is while they were out there gaping in the streets, I was at home vaping in the sheets. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just ready for Pride Month to be over so that I can go back to living a life that I'm not very proud of. Just like eating Taco Bell on the toilet while being gay. For the record, the Crunchwrap Supreme's Cravings box has brought me further away from God than any dick ever could, so... Can I get a Liv Moss? There you go. I think being gay is fun. Being gay is fun. It can be tough sometimes. I travel around the country a lot, and I find that it's tough. And I'll let you know, though, the hardest part about being gay is, that's right, wearing a backwards hat. Because then straight guys try to talk to you about sports. And I'm like, bro, we could talk about Bears and Packers all day. But we're not going to be on the same page, baby girl, you feel me? Do face homophobia. I face homophobia. But in my experience, I've learned the most homophobic people in the world are the sisters of gay men. Because they've seen shit. And they know who we really are, monsters. My sister's like, gay guys, you mean the guys who steal all your makeup and then upstage you at your own wedding? Next! My sister's like, gay guys, you mean the guys who bring 4 dudes named Steven to Christmas and then serve ketamine eggnog to grandma? Disgusting! My sister's like, gay guys, you mean the guys who put on wigs and make fun of your postpartum depression and then blow your husband in the mudroom? Not again! My sister's like, I wish all gay guys would go back in the closet, and while you're in there, don't touch my jean shorts. Me and my sister are millennials. Are there any other millennials in here? Make some noise. Yeah. We were talking about it, and we feel bad for kids today. We feel bad for kids today because kids today will never know the joy and the horror of jacking off after school in plain sight at the family computer. You know what I mean? That's only a few select members of this room. Like that. I mean, that's why a lot of us have anxiety. Because we're just beaten off with a time frame. That's why they called it Windows 98, because we had 9 to 8 windows to jack off during the day before getting caught. In 2001, my dad came home with a computer, and he plugged it in, and he brought us all in the room, and he said, check it out. It's a gateway. And I was like, it sure is. A gateway to seeing every open butthole on the planet. We're going to do it. A gateway, if you will. And then a week later, we had to call a repairman out because I'd infected the computer with so much porn. I dicked it down to death. I DP'd the PC, y'all. It was supposed to be teaching me homework. We were running the streets. So my dad pulled me aside and he was like, what were you watching on that? And I had a really rational reaction. I locked myself in my bedroom for like 8 hours and we had a standoff. And then eventually he was like, if I can guess what you were watching, will you tell me? And I fell for it. And out the gate he was just like, was it gay? And I was like, how'd you know? And my dad goes, oh, thank God. By the way you reacted, we could have sworn it was animal stuff. At the time, I told my dad I was bisexual. He was like, you know, what are you identifying as? I was like, I'm bisexual. My dad just looked at me and he was like, no, you're fucking not. Like, bisexuals don't walk the way that you do. Like, you're clearly a gay person. You don't have any follow-through. That's the real problem here. I asked my dad when he knew I was gay, and my dad didn't even blink. He was just like, that's easy. When you were 4 years old, and you insisted on dipping your McDonald's French fries in aioli, that's when I knew. He was like, that's a lock. This kid's gay. This kid likes men and the finer things. I do like those things. I also like attention. A lot of comics won't admit that. I will. I love attention, which is why I always order the fajitas. The most extra of all the entrees. If you order fajitas, that tells me one thing about you. That you're a clout-chasing fame whore. Who needs to be the center of attention of your local Chili's. Fajitas come out the kitchen, they make a lap, and people turn their heads. They stare. They gawk. Like they're witnessing a fucking miracle. Oh my God, is that Jesus Christ himself raising Lazarus from the dead? No. It's just burnt bargain beef, bitch. 14 individual ingredient trays, plus a tortilla warmer, plus a sizzler. Gay people could learn a thing or two from fajitas. Take up space and refuse to be silenced. That's what I think about that. But I got a secret for you. Fajitas aren't very good. They're just loud. Which scares me because I might be the fajitas of comedians, you know? You would tell me, right? Yeah. But I was thinking about fajitas, and it made me appreciate something. Thinking about fajitas made me appreciate Anne Frank. Because I could never be that quiet. I would just be up in the attic like, who's that? He sounds hot. Oh my God, where are my manners? Are y'all straight? We're gonna do this. Y'all straight? You guys sound ashamed, as you should be. I think y'all straight is a confusing question. I never know how to answer it. Like when anyone's ever like, bro, you straight? I'm like, I'm neither. I'm not fine, nor do I want to play like pick up 3-on-3 basketball with you. Or eat at Applebee's, or watch Yellowstone, or go to Topgolf. I know what straight people are up to. I'm on to straight people. I'll be honest, I don't know what straight people are up to. The last time I was straight, Limp Bizkit was huge, so. Do you guys think I could pass for straight? That was way too fast. Fuck you, that hurt my feelings. You could have thought about it a minute. Huh?
You only gave it like 30 seconds.
I'm only gay for 30 seconds?
You only gave it like 30 seconds before you had to confess.
I'll keep that. No, this fucking lisp comes out. I don't think I could pass for straight. I can't even do an impression of a straight guy. This is my impression of a straight guy. You ready? No homo. That's it! How lazy is that? What else does straight guys say? Bet. Right? I hear that, I'm like, I bet you don't wipe sufficiently. That's what I bet! That's the reaction I wanted. What about no hetero? I've never heard that before. Let's bring that into the lexicon. Like, what if I was at home with my husband and I was like, we should have a baby? No hetero. What if I'm at the bar and I go up to the bartender and I'm like, yo, I'm really craving an oatmeal stout? No hetero. What if I'm driving around with my friends and I'm like, girls, you know where we should go? We should go to a Bass Pro Shop. Oh God, no hetero! And then I crash the car and everybody dies. Are there any straight guys here? Okay, just a couple of you. Yeah, you all sound straight. I believe you. Straight guys, I got bad news for you. I was on Grindr in the green room and some of you were fucking lying. I'm not going to out you or anything, but you got to get right with God. That's between you and Christ. I'm not going to pick on straight guys, I promise. A lot of gay comics will. They'll pick on you. They'll be like, oh, you're straight? How do you know you're straight? You've never sucked a dick before. How do you know you're straight? And I'm not going to do that. Because I'm terrified that one day someone's going to come up to me and be like, oh, so you're gay? How do you know you're not trans? Because I don't know. I was at a restaurant this week and the waitress said, excuse me, ma'am, and I moved, so. We don't know yet. It's enough out of you. I'll be honest with you, my pronouns are he, she, they. So you know what that means, my body, your choice. I know, it's a good one. I'm all for pronouns and pronoun acceptance and recognizing people's pronouns. Except earlier this month, I was with my little niece, and she said, I'm really afraid of the monster under my bed. And I was like, you don't have to be afraid of that. There's no monster under your bed. You're okay. And she was like, yeah, it's the boogie they, them. So I'm a Republican now. I'll be honest with you. I used to want to be straight. I used to want to be straight up until a couple days ago. When I drove past one of those axe-throwing gyms. Have you seen that? I actually thought it was a lesbian bar at first because it was called Hatchet Alley. Hatchet Alley. I realized it was an axe-throwing gym, and I was like, straight people have lost it. You guys go to prison for that. You guys took darts, the most heterosexual of all games, and you made it more violent, you know? An axe-throwing gym is just more proof that straight men will literally toss anything before they toss a salad. I'm like, be a real man. Put down the axe and come up here and tongue punch my fart box. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. See, it's axe wordplay and it's salad wordplay. That's so creative. Are there any dumb guys here? Don't out him. It's Pride Month. Don't out him. Bad news. I got a thing for dumb guys. I was with a dude one time. He had a tattoo right here on his forearm, and it said, "To thine own self be true." And when I saw it, I was like, that's Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. And this dude looked me right in the eyes, and he goes, "Nah, that's Reba." And I was like, "No, I majored in British literature. Polonius says that in the play Hamlet by William Shakespeare." And he looked at me again, he goes, "No, that's Reba McEntire." And that's the day that I learned that some gay guys can be the F word and the R word at the same time. That was pretty funny. This dude was so fucking dumb. He told me the worst STD he ever got was a concussion. And I was like, "Dude, that's not an STD." And he was like, "Well, I got it from fucking..." And I was like, "I could give you another one of those." You guys like yoga? Wow, not a yoga crowd. Was not expecting the aggressive no. It's okay though. It's fine. I'll let you know. Yoga is for women and for men who pee sitting down. And I can say that because I'm a yoga instructor. I used to live in San Francisco, which is a surprise to no one. I used to live in San Francisco. When I lived in San Francisco, I taught yoga. But when I taught yoga, I was also at the height, the apex of my cocaine addiction. So my class had a really different kind of vibe, you know what I mean? My class was like listening to a meditation app on triple time speed. Class was supposed to be an hour. I got it done in like 14 minutes flat. I taught class like a meteor was headed towards Earth. But we got shit done, though. We got shit done. We did back bends and titty twisters. We did reverse warrior and reverse cowgirl. We did downward dog and uptown girl. We did the wop, the wobble, and the Cupid shuffle. It was like a wedding reception. It was amazing. But my favorite thing to do while teaching class high on cocaine would be to inject class with weird cokehead facts. You know, like cokeheads do. I'd be like, "Okay, plant your feet hips width distance apart, and then extend your fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then relax your shoulders away from your ears. Like Madonna in the music video for Vogue." Oh my God, did you guys know that David Fincher directed the music video for Vogue? David Fincher, the guy who directed Seven and Fight Club and Panic Room and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Mank and Social Network. He directed Vogue. He also directed the music video for Suit and Tie by Justin Timberlake. People don't talk about that. That's fucking crazy. Anyway, inhale, expand, exhale, fold. When I lived in San Francisco and I taught yoga, I also used to work for Google. I do stand-up comedy now. It didn't work out. But when I worked for Google, I had money. And people don't talk about this, but having money and doing drugs is extremely different than not having money and doing drugs. I moved back down to New Orleans, and I was out with a friend, and he was like, "Hey, you want to go get some coke?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love drug deals." You show up at the guy's pied-à-terre and you take your shoes off at the door, and then he escorts you down the parlor where you have snacks and you get to sample the drugs, and then he gives you your stuff in a monogrammed envelope with calligraphy with your name on it, and if you spend enough money, he gives you a 24-karat gold collar stay to do your cocaine off of. Drugs! And my friend looked at me and he was like, "No, that's not what's gonna happen. What's going to happen is I'm going to take you to this dude's house and he's going to make you watch his infant while a pit bull barks at you. And knowing you, he might stick a gun in your mouth." And I was like, "Oh my God! Is the pit bull a rescue at least? Oh." I used to smoke a lot of weed too. Make some noise if you smoke weed. That always gets a response. I used to smoke weed, but I had to quit. Because I don't know about y'all, I would get stoned out of my gourd, and I would say crazy shit that I couldn't take back. Like the last time I was stoned, I said, "You know, Heinz Ketchup should do a promotion during Black History Month and call their products Wakandaments. And my mom was like, you have got to stop smoking weed. This one time I was high and I was like, you know what? We shouldn't discriminate. Discrimination's bad. But if you're going to discriminate, just discriminate against people with dyslexia. Dyslexia is not real, just like sound it out. Oh my God, what are people with dyslexia going to do? Cancel me? Good luck writing a tweet. But I've been sober for 2 years. I just made 2 years sober. That you're not going to clap? Clap, yeah. I deserve that. I haven't done cocaine or I haven't drank in 2 years. I haven't done coke in 2 years, but I still feel like I have a little bit left in the tank to get me through the set tonight. That's all I got. People don't talk about this, but recovering drug addicts and alcoholics, we have the best stories about drinking and drugs. Like, you could try to outdo me, but good fucking luck. Oh my God, you got so wasted and passed out in the front yard. Well, one time I tried to fight and fuck the same undercover cop in the same night. So, not impressed. This one time I was in the back of an Uber and I had cocaine on me, but we didn't have a flat surface. So I was like, I know what we'll do. We'll use my phone screen. We'll do lines off my phone screen. That'll be fun. And it worked for about 5 minutes. Until I realized that the entire time we'd been broadcasting on Facebook Live. It's a true story. And I only found out when my phone started buzzing and it was my Aunt Lisa. So I put her on speaker and I was like, what's up, Aunt Lisa? And she was like, you're doing cocaine on Facebook! Can you bring some to Easter? It's bizarre. Since I stopped doing coke, I've been doing this other thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Sleep. Sleep's amazing. You're nodding deeply. Like she's like, I know. Yeah, she's like, sleep is the drug. In no time at all, I've gone from hitting the club to hitting the hay. From white lines to white noise. From fucked up to tucked in. And from crashing Ford Fiestas to crashing early deep siestas. I didn't go to rehab though. I was afraid to go to rehab. I was afraid to go to rehab because I was afraid that if I did go to rehab, I would try to run for class president of rehab. You know how gay people are. They just like show up and elect themselves in charge. I just know on day 2, I would be standing there with a clipboard just like, okay, if you sold your kids Christmas presents from Matt, stand in this line over here, you know? But when I got sober, the pendulum swung hard. Like, it swung really hard. Like, I went from being a serious coke addict to like a fucking narc now. Like, I'm a narc. Like, the other night, my husband and I were at dinner, and he ordered another drink, and I was like, is that your third IPA? And he was like, aren't you the same dude who tried to fight and fuck the same undercover cop in the same night? And I was like, oh, he listens. But like I've mentioned, I am married. Give it up for that, yeah. I'm a gay guy who's married and sober. Don't clap. Which means I voluntarily took away the 2 things that make gay people fun. Like being a drunk hot mess and chugging a bunch of dicks. Like it's all off the table, you know? That'd be like if you adopted a dog and they handed you a new puppy and they're like, here's your dog. But number 1, it doesn't fetch. And number 2, it's not very loyal. You'd be like, well, this isn't a dog. This is just like a fruity possum. I wrote that joke like a month ago, and then last week I got a tattoo of a fruity possum right there. That's how you know I'm gay. Disposable income. My husband and I just celebrated 2 years of marriage. You can clap for that. That's good. And for our anniversary, he got me a watch. It was a suicide watch. But I like the extra attention. Thanks. Are there any single people here, though? Where are the... Yeah. Are you on the dating apps? Okay, cool. I never want to have to be single again because I never want to have to get on the dating apps. It seems like hell. I never want to get on the dating apps because I never want to have to write a bio. I've never seen a good dating bio. They're all bad. I was with a girlfriend recently, and she showed me her dating profile bio, and it was just grammar rules. I looked at it, and all it said was, must know the difference between your and your. And I was like, cool, you're still single, and your standards are too high, you know? Like, this is Hinge, not Harvard, bitch. Just settle. Like the rest of us. Are there any married couples here? Where are the married couples? Oh, you sound thrilled. I like you. How long have y'all been together? Married. Whatever. I don't care. 13, 18. I don't think they're together. This is a first date. We caught them. I'm just kidding. 13. Give it up for 13 years, everybody. Can anyone beat 13? How long? 37? That's amazing. That's incredible. Great. 37. Do you guys get along? That's how you know, because he doesn't answer and she says mostly or kind of. That's how you know. My husband and I, we do get along for the most part. We do fight sometimes, though. Want to let you know, gay fights, very different than straight fights. The way they start is very normal, very hetero. Like laundry dishes, honey, why aren't you wearing your cock ring tonight? You get it, sir. But then the way they escalate is very homo. Like the other day, my husband called me and he was like, I needed a ride home from the airport today. Where were you? And I was like, where was I? Where were you in 2009 when I flew to Washington, D.C. to march for marriage equality, huh? Where the fuck were you? Still in the closet? That's convenient. So we're working it out. We do get along, but in totality, we've been together for 6 years. So at 6 years, I feel like I'm getting to the point where I need to make things spicy. So my new favorite activity is to follow my husband out the front door whenever he leaves and just scream into the street, "Fine, leave, just go, you asshole!" Because I plan on going missing later this year. And I'm trying to build a narrative with the neighbors, you know what I mean? I've even got a Gone Girl diary at home and everything. I'm ready to go. Oh my God, this one time I was really stoned and I couldn't remember the name of the movie Gone Girl, so I just kept calling it Girl Bye, and I think that is so dumb. My husband is white, which is a weird thing to learn 6 years into your relationship. I mean, not to brag, but he does get additional screening at TSA at the airport. We didn't know, but he did an at-home DNA test, and he's so white that it came back as a recipe for air-fried kale. So that was a plot twist. I'm really happy, though, that Congress did pass the Respect for Marriage Act. That's awesome. That's where you clap. Yeah. But I'm really afraid the Supreme Court is going to overturn gay marriage, because they could if they wanted to. Because if we get rid of gay marriage, we're going to miss out on the best part. And that's gay divorce court. Gay divorce court is fucking hilarious. Gay divorce court is just two grown men trying to get out of all the responsibilities they've entered into. They're like, oh, these children, no custody, please, Your Honor. My new life starts right now. Snack time for daddy starts today. Glory holes over jelly rolls, Your Honor. Holes before rolls is what I'm saying. Also, Your Majesty, I've got this brand new apartment that's going to be just for me, and there's going to be choking hazards like everywhere. And mostly I'm at risk. And lesbian divorce court is just a fist fight in an AutoZone parking lot. So much simpler. So much simpler. I like this. I'm waiting. That's why I do this, for moments like that. I'll wait all night if you keep laughing. Before I got married, though, I used to date a lot. I dated a lot. You could say that I had hoes in different area codes. Or you could say that I had different bussy in Tallahassee, Chattanooga, and Albuquerque. You could say that. You could say that. But when I dated a lot, I would never save anyone's numbers. I'm superstitious. I'd be like, if I save your number, then I'll know your name, and then I can fall in love with you, and then you could hurt me. So let's just not do that. But then every time I'd get a text from an unknown number, I'd be like, ooh, I wonder which one this could be. And half the time it was Walgreens telling me that my antidepressants were ready. And I'd be like, just in time. I have anxiety. Make some noise if you have anxiety. I have anxiety. If you don't think you have anxiety, I have a test for you. If you don't think you have anxiety, show your mom a picture on your phone. Like, hand your mom your phone and then step away. Tell me you don't have fucking anxiety the whole time. Every time I show my mom a picture on my phone, I have to give her a disclaimer. I have to be like, now remember, Mom, don't swipe. If you swipe left or right, there's a really good chance you're gonna see a dick. And it could be anybody's dick. It might even be my dick. Let's just not do this, you know? And then every time without fail, boom, she swipes and boom, butthole pic. We got to start adding that to the briefing, is what I'm saying. I have depression, too. Make some noise if you have depression. That's not real. For depression, it's like a big slump, usually. I think it's weird how depression shows up sometimes. Like, have you ever been giving a blowjob and thought, uh-oh, are my eyes watering or are these real tears? Is this dick too thick or do I need to connect more with my parents before they die? A lot of people my age will blame their neurodivergence, their anxiety, their depression on generational trauma or childhood trauma. That's what we like to say. But no one's stopping to think that when we were kids, we ate Little Debbie's every day for like every meal for decades. Yeah. And that might be part of the fucking problem, you know? Like, leave this show and on the way home, stop at a gas station and eat 2 zebra cakes and tell me you don't feel fucking crazy for 72 hours. People don't know this, but Little Debbie is short for Little Depression. And in the 1920s, having a Little Debbie meant that you were flirting with the idea of taking a bubble bath with a toaster. So, people don't know that. I promised if you were good, I would tell these jokes that I'm about to tell now. Everyone's been good except these two. So they have to cover their ears. My therapist also tells me that I have a problem with empathy, that I'm not very empathetic. And that's because about a year ago, my friend committed suicide. And when she did, her mom called me and said, hey, she left a note. And she mentioned you in the note, so you need to come over to the house so we can read it together. So I drove over to her mom's house. I sat across the table from her. She slid the note across the table to me. I picked it up. I looked at it, and I was like, oh, my God, this is full of typos. I'm not reading this. And just like slid it right back. She had body dysmorphia, and she hated the way that she looked. And I had to go to the funeral, and I'm happy to report that she's almost finally near her goal weight. She got frustrated when she hung herself because even the noose fit too tight. Oh. But she can finally fit in a size 2 coffin. They really should have cremated her, though. She earned it. Get it? Like, earn it with a U. Guess what? That bitch isn't real. None of that happened, and I knew the whole time, and you didn't. That was really fun. Let's talk about politics. I'm just kidding. I think it's weird and horrible what's going on in America right now with drag. It's being criminalized in towns and states across America, and I think that's awful. Because we need drag. I need drag. How else am I going to trick an inmate into falling in love with me, you know? I want a prison husband, is what I'm trying to say. I want a prison husband because, like, you know, he can't get away with everything. He already didn't, you know? Like, don't trust a guy with no record. He just hasn't been caught yet. Like, my husband's never been to prison. What's he hiding? I want a prison husband because having a prison husband is just like having a goldfish that you don't have to fuck with that'll murder for you, you know? I went on tour last year with a comic who's also an ex-con. He spent 10 years in prison. And I learned a lot about prison culture from him. Like, one of the things I learned is that in prison, if you share your cigarette with a homosexual, they jump you and they ostracize you from the group. But by day 4 of our tour together, we were passing my vape pen back and forth. And he was like, wow, look how far I've come. And I was really proud of him. But I had to beat the shit out of him because those are the rules, you know? The prison rules now. Ladies, make some noise if you've ever been catcalled. Oh, yeah. Okay, now make some noise if you've ever heard a man catcalling another man before. Yeah, you need to go to New Orleans. It's happening left and right. I was walking down the street the other day and heard this dude scream out at another dude, and this is what he actually said. This is true. He goes, hey, man, you're fine as fuck. I'd let you throw me over the side of a cruise ship. That's crazy. I didn't even look at the hot guy. I looked at the dude who was screaming. Because that's an interesting person. And I feel like I know a lot about him already, you know? Like, he's not afraid to ask for what he wants. He can paint a very colorful picture with his words. He's clearly a fan of true crime. That's cool. That's also the first time I've ever heard the premise of an episode of Dateline used as a dateline. I'm like, all right, Agatha Christie, let's get this maritime thriller started, you know? You guys like threesomes? What if that was my plan the whole time, was to come up here and tell 30 minutes of jokes and be like, somebody fuck me! Like, it's not for me, I promise. I think threesomes are weird. I think gay threesomes are easy, you know? It's just like a +1 dick, you know? Phone a friend. But straight people, you guys have to decide what gender you're bringing into the bedroom first. That's got to be a difficult conversation, right? I think that's why we should have gender reveal parties. For straight couples finding out who they're getting. Like, you pop a cannon and it's pink confetti and it's a girl. And that's the only time a guy's ever excited he's having a girl? Okay, didn't think about that. I don't know anything about threesomes. My only rule about threesomes is that the less attractive one gets behind me. I'm like, all right, fugly, you're on pump duty. I feel bad about making that girl joke. I do love my girlfriends a lot. I love my girlfriends. I love when my girlfriends come over and we have slumber parties and we get to have girl talk. But I don't like that up until a point. My girlfriend came over the other day and we were talking and she's like, so I met this super hot guy. And I was like, yeah? And she was like, and I brought him back to my place and I was like, yeah? And she was like, and he had the biggest dick. And I was like, yeah? And she's like, I let him fuck me up and down my apartment. And I was like, yeah? And then she goes, and I squirted everywhere. And I was like, ew! Gross! I don't want to hear about that! Get out of my house! You were supposed to be my surrogate, Emily. Get out of here! Like, ladies, I want the details, just not the juicy details. Like, we can skip all that. I'm about to get out of here in a minute, but before I do that, I just want to say, this has been so much fun. Thank you. This has been such a blast. I fucking love coming to this place. I love coming to Tyler. You guys are always so receptive and so fucking cool for whatever that, like, I genuinely, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming tonight. This was a blast. I have merch. I have stickers and keychains and gay shit back there. Buy it. I'm about to get out of here, but before I go, I feel like I've deceived you a little bit.
You're not gay. So strange. You're actually straight.
I used to date women. I know. I used to date women. I even had a high school sweetheart I dated into college. It's true. And then after we broke up, she called me and she said, Ryan, I cannot believe you turned gay after we broke up. And then she said, I feel like I wasted my virginity on you. That fucked up? That's the right reaction. Yeah. And it hurt. So I thought about it. And I said, Courtney. Because that was her real name. Fuck her. She's not here. I don't give a fuck. I said, Courtney. She spells Courtney with a K. She lives in Terrytown, Louisiana, if you want to look her up on Facebook after this. I said, Courtney, when we got together, that really meant something to me. Because if we hadn't met, I never would have met your brother, Chris. So I'll see you at Christmas. You're a huge bitch. And then I hung up the phone. I used to date women. I also grew up in the church. Anyone else grow up in the church? Grow up through? Yeah, I grew up in the church, and I was I was super religious. I even had a crucifix tattooed on my back, so that when the dudes, this fucker, it's a true story. I really did have a crucifix tattooed on my back, so that when the dudes were smashing, they could honor the passion. So, but apart from being super religious, I used to be an altar boy. This is usually where I feel everyone pull away from me. Because you've been conditioned that what I'm about to say is not going to be very good. I used to be an altar boy for the Catholic Church. And when you tell people that, what's the one question they have for you? You're all thinking it. Say it again. Thanks. I can't imagine. I can't believe that came from you. You're all thinking it. She's right. They want to know, did a priest ever touch you, right? And since it is a special night, since I'm back here in Tyler, I'm going to confess some shit to you guys. The answer is no. A priest never touched me. But I have spent my entire adult life wondering why. Why did a priest never touch me? I've got two theories why not. Theory number one, he knew I'd touch back. Ah! It's gross. I know, I wrote it. It's gross. Theory number two, more plausible theory. I think a priest never touched me because I've always loved drama. And who wants to touch a kid like that, right? Liability, loudmouth. I've always loved drama. I could just see myself sliding into the lunch table in elementary school the day after it happened, just like, y'all. Y'all. I have a secret. I have a secret. Everybody crowd around me now. Oop. who fucked Father Tommy last night. It was me. It was me, and he loves me, and I love him, and we're going to be together. And scene. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.